The cabin stood alone at the edge of the pine forest, miles from the nearest town, where the wind carried nothing but the smell of rain and the distant rumble of something restless in the sky. Ethan had come here to escape the noise of the city, to find silence in the wilderness. But tonight, silence was the last thing the sky intended to give him. It began as a low murmur, far beyond the mountains, like the earth itself was clearing its throat. Ethan sat by the window, a cup of coffee cooling in his hands, watching the clouds gather in the distance. They were not ordinary clouds. They rolled and folded over each other, dark and heavy, swallowing the last light of dusk. Within minutes, the sky had turned the color of a bruise. Then came the first flash. It split the horizon in half, a jagged vein of white fire tearing through the black. For a heartbeat, the entire forest was frozen in silver light, every tree, every shadow, burned into Ethan's eyes. The thunder followed 3 seconds later, a deep and furious growl that rattled the windows and shook the old wooden floor beneath his feet. He had seen storms before. But this one felt different. It felt alive. The wind grew teeth. It howled through the gaps in the cabin walls, rattling the shutters, whispering through the chimney like something trying to speak. Rain came next, not gently, but in sheets, hammering the roof with a violence that made Ethan flinch. He rose from his chair, drawn to the window despite every instinct telling him to step back. Lightning struck again, closer this time. It illuminated the tree line, and for a fraction of a second, he swore he saw movement, a shape darting between the trunks, gone before the thunder even arrived. He told himself it was a deer, startled by the storm, running for cover. But some quiet part of him did not believe that. The lights flickered. Once. Twice. Then the cabin was plunged into darkness. Ethan grabbed the flashlight from the drawer, his hands trembling not from cold, but from the electricity in the air, the kind that made your skin prickle and your hair rise, as if the storm itself was reaching inside the house. He counted the seconds between the flash and the thunder, an old habit from childhood. 3 seconds. 2. 1. The storm was directly overhead now. A bolt struck something outside, close, terrifyingly close. The sound was not the usual boom of thunder, but a sharp, splitting crack, like the sky itself had shattered. The old oak tree at the edge of the property split down its center, flames licking briefly at the wet wood before the rain smothered them into smoke. Ethan stood frozen at the window, watching the tree's silhouette burn orange against the black, humbled by the raw, uncontrollable power unfolding before him. It was terrifying. And yet, he could not look away. There is something about a storm like this, something ancient and honest, that strips away every illusion of control. The city teaches you to believe you are the master of your world, that switches and screens and walls can keep the wild at bay. But out here, with lightning splitting the sky and thunder shaking your bones, you remember what you truly are: small, fragile, and completely at the mercy of forces far greater than yourself. By midnight, the storm began to drift eastward, its fury fading into low grumbles over the mountains. The rain softened into a gentle patter, soothing after the violence that came before it. Ethan sat back down, his heart still racing, his coffee long forgotten. He did not sleep that night. He simply sat, listening to the last echoes of thunder fade into silence, grateful to have witnessed something so powerful and so alive.